Coming up in today's video, guys, we've got a couple of interesting procedures. Both are myself. This first patient comes in to see us on a regular basis. I'm pretty sure you said you've seen this lady a few times.
Patient, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it usually comes every 3 to 6 months, roughly. And what we've basically got is this, this thicker, harder type of keratin. I just realised I forgot to mention we've got a new feature on the video. Sorry guys, I'm going to chuck it in now before I do forget to completely mention it. But we've got comment corner at the end of the video. So we randomly choose a question from a previous video, and yeah, we'll just basically answer your questions.
So if you got one, pop it into the comment section below, and you stand a chance of being appearing in comment corner. Name might change, but comment corner for the time being.
For the time being.
So this is a beastie, this one.
Yeah, and it's a very strange one as well because it looks thin.
Yeah.
It looks like a very thin. It's a layer of skin. That's all this is. It's a layer of skin that, you know, the skin tries to migrate out of the ear from the eardrum. And I think in this patient's case, I don't exactly know what's going on, but it's obviously a case of as it's coming towards the entrance of the ear, it just starts kind of doing this, and it just kind of caves in on each other. So I've got the forceps here now. I've got a relatively good grip here, and I'm trying to do it slowly because I don't want it to, you know, break much away. I think we do end up having to break a little bit away here. Yeah.
Like a lot of the time, these skin type ones will come away quite cleanly, won't they? You'll get a grip
will, yeah.
off, but this is hanging on all the way down the canal, isn't it? It's a real difficult one.
And I think it's exactly the same every time the patient comes in as well. Excuse me, sorry, we always get a little bit of difficulty kind of taking, not difficulty, but difficulty getting it all out in one go, basically.
It's a more kind of painstaking procedure,
yeah,
isn't it?
That's it, yeah. So we've got, it's almost there. There's this little bit that's just kind of holding on at the back, you know. You will see this starting to come away, I believe. I only done this yesterday, so I should know.
I think from Ez in it, I think it is lots of little bits.
Oh, lots of little bits.
Yeah, that comes away. And then you can see from there how far down the canal that actually reaches.
So I'm grabbing this a little bit further in now because I want to try and... There we go, it's starting to kind of shear away, but now you can see that kind of starting to draw back now from deeper into the ear.
Nice.
So yeah, tiny little bits left here now.
I mean, look at these, like where they're attached in there. There's a lot that's attached right at the front as well. But
yeah, so it's looking much better. Which is why this always baffles me every time this patient comes in. Exactly the same here. You can almost see how thin it is because it's. What's the word? Translucent? Is that the... Yeah, transparent? Transparent. What's transparent.
One of those two.
So that's why you can usually tell if it's, you know, massively blocked or if it's not. If it's a very small amount, then it tends to be that kind of see-through consistency. And you can see as I'm trying to suction this away, the top bit there, that really thin bit is just kind of moving around.
So skin naturally wants to attach to other skin. Okay, so if you've got a flap that's fallen down in the canal, as soon as it touches that opposing canal wall, it almost binds, doesn't it? And that's what causes these really, really kind of difficult blockages.
Here it comes. A couple of little bits kind of left in.
Was that a little bit of, looks like a little bit of wax as well, is it?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of wax just on the bottom there, that little tiny blob you can see. I said this usually builds up quicker than wax, doesn't it?
The skin does.
The skin always tends to build up quicker than wax.
I'll normally... Ooh, that's a nice piece.
It's coming.
That's a nice piece. I normally get wax through about every 12 months and skin about every 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, or thereabouts.
Yeah, you know. Roughly.
Oh, that's a chunky bit of skin there, Taylor.
Here we go.
Look at that, that's quite a satisfying piece, isn't it?
There's a little bit at the bottom here you can see, but to be honest, I'm not going to touch that because that's going to end up starting to peel all that newer, fresher skin underneath. I don't really want to put that, you know, patient under any discomfort, so you know, patient quite likely is going to ring up and pop back in about 3 to 6 months time again with exactly the same issues. So yeah, I completely missed the measurements. I do apologize.
It was 2 centimetres.
Oh, I was going to say it's about a centimetre. Yeah. There we go.
I did clock it. Oh no, this is the interesting case as well. I like this one.
Yeah, it's just quite an interesting one. It's a It's not 100% clean, I believe, at the end of this one, but it's a good one to look at because it's just kind of an interesting case. We don't see it very often.
No.
But what this patient has is kind of, was it condition? We call it a condition. The ear canal condition is what we call exostosis. And what you're going to see in a second, I didn't realize this patient had this until I cleared the wax. This is the first visit with us. Now it's coming away really nicely, very similar to the last ear canal. We got a lot of this thicker kind of keratin, lots of thick dead skin here. And I'm gently trying to lift that, trying to peel it away really, really slowly.
It's encased in skin, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So you've got this wax in the center, and then you've got this lighter, thicker skin that's all kind of holding it in place. A lot of this is kind of imploding into the suction tube.
If you look to the right, you can just see the outline of two. Well, you can. You've seen it, but the viewers, you guys can see the exostosis in the corner.
And we always have to be extra cautious with these patients because historically, I've cleared patients' ear canals, and even if it's sensitive in that area anyway. But some patients do get a bit of a funny turn if you accidentally touch them. Now, if you look around the ear canal now as this starts clearing, you can see it's not a perfect kind of like oval shape. We've got all these little bumps and just bumps.
Because it used to be thought that they used to come in sort of between, they used to come in 3s and 5s. So but what you find now is you get a lot more. There's no set number, and it was a question that the viewers used to ask a lot.
Yeah.
Why do they always appear in 3s? Why do they always appear in 5s? You can see here, there's a heck of a lot more than 3 or 5 here.
Yeah.
So it isn't always the case.
Yeah, and the sort of history with this patient, I sort of questioned their sort of job, the hobbies, and the only thing I could really pick out, because a lot of the time this is usually caused by cold water swimming, prolonged exposure to cold water swimming. Yeah. But the patient doesn't really do much swimming, but he does ride a bike. So I think this is quite possibly the wind exposure may have started to cause this over time. So like I said, you got these little bits of staining. It's not going to be 100% clear, but I thought it was an interesting one to kind of show you something a little bit different than just wax.
Because the historic thing is, like you said, it's usually cold water exposure, repeated cold water exposure. I think the more the people are starting to think a bit differently about it now, and they're saying, well, okay, look, it's temperature difference, it's just cold exposure. And like you said, riding the bike, if you're not got the earplugs or anything in, you are going to get that sort of temperature difference there. Yeah. But difficult. It's difficult to get these clean because of the lumps and the undulation then to the canal wall.
That was a good word. Fair play. That's about 3.5 centimetres roughly.
Inch and a half. Oh my goodness, this one. So comment corner, guys. BHS3614. Put on this. Can you trim the hair back a little? And this, in fairness, this comes up so much. I'm not singling this particular person out. I'm just saying this comes up a lot in the comment section. You can, is the honest answer. Okay, so you could trim it. You could snip it with a pair of scissors if it was really impeding your view. And if you, I've been on some training courses where they recommend you go in there with a crocodile forceps, grab a handful of it and rip it out. Which I don't fancy either. I think it just depends. From my side of things, I wouldn't bother trimming the hair. It does have an important job inside the ear canal. It stops bigger bits of dirt and debris from getting in by causing this little mesh on the outer part of the ear canal. So bigger bits of dirt and debris don't enter the canal in the first place. So the ear canal doesn't have to work so hard to expel them if they do get it. So they do have quite an integral job. Yeah. And I think as long as I can see what I'm doing in there, I wouldn't bother trimming the hair. Yeah.
And it's you're kind of almost taking that defence away from that patient's ear canal then. If you start trimming those really short, that ear canal is going to be a lot more kind of exposed to, something getting inside there. Yep. Some people's are longer than others. Some people's are thicker than others, the hair. And it's just, you can trim them, but we wouldn't normally suggest doing it.
No, and it's difficult when you trim, because if a patient self-trim, those little trimmed hairs enter the ear canal, so then it causes more problems with the wax as well. So it is a little bit more of a difficult one to do. But in answer to your question, you can do it. I don't like doing it personally because I just think it does take away some natural defences, and as long as I can see what I'm doing with the endoscope, I'm happy to leave them in there. So I hope that answers your question. Don't forget, guys, if you have a question you want answered by myself and Miss Taylor Green, make sure you drop them into the comment section, because I'm picking these out the comment sections for you guys. So make sure you put it in there, and I'll randomly pick a question. We'll put it on the end of the subscribers videos. But guys, until next time, as always, take care of yourselves.
Take care of your ears.
And take care of one another, myself and the lovely Miss Taylor Green. We'll see you for the next video. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.